Good morning. Hello. Can you hear me? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm just getting everything situated here and running around. Hello, Truth Fairy. How are you? Can you guys hear me? I'm going to try and open this. I think I want to open this in regular YouTube for the chat. Let's see here. Let's see if you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I know I have my camera off right now. I'm getting everything situated. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? I'm going to open this in regular YouTube for the chat. So Tara is an abuser, I hear. I heard Tara is an abuser. Can't tell if anyone can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hold on, I'm still getting situated. Can you hear me? All right, let me open this up in YouTube. How is everybody doing this morning? All right, here we go. You might hear an echo just for a minute while I open this in YouTube. Oh, I can hear me there. All right. Okay, good morning. All right. Oh my gosh. It is Spirit Week at my kids' school. So today was Jammy Day, and I just found out about that last night. And I don't live in an area where you actually like have stores and can buy things. So when you tell me at like 4 p.m. that you don't have jammies for Jammy Day, my goodness, that makes my life difficult. So, it's been Holly, Kitty's here. So it's been a bit of a craze getting everybody ready for the morning. All right. You know what's weird? In StreamYard, it'll tell you how many people are here, but for some reason, when I do these lives, it just always says 0. So I can't ever tell, I'm sniffly, who's here and who isn't. All right, so why is Tara an abuser? I don't really understand that. Why is Tara an abuser? I missed all that. I wasn't really listening to Purples yesterday. I had like the watch party, so I had it streaming, but I wasn't really listening to it. I was running around. I wasn't listening. So I mean, and she just says the same thing all the time anyway, so why do I want to listen? But actually Eliza listened to it and she's like, was that really from last night or was it from a day ago? Because it sounded like exactly from last night. Oh, where did you get called an abuser? All right, what were you doing in Buddies? If anyone ever wants to come up, I always forget to do this, but if anyone wants to come up, they can. Oh, I forgot to turn my camera on. There, my camera on. Why were you in Buddies? Why were you called an abuser in Buddies? Oh, you got blocked for being supportive. Supportive to who? Supportive of who? All right, hold on. Tara, bullying the streets are you? Yeah, Tara is, I mean, she's just out there always kicking everybody's. Oh, well, when is Karen not spewing hogwash? Isn't that all Karen does? I mean, other than apparently stab people with a fork. Peaches, did you not think you were going to get blocked by Tony? I mean, come on. Did you not think that was going to happen? You know what I was thinking of today? Like, like cracking asses goes into mine. and hers. So cracking asses isn't blocked, right? Like, you're not the only person who comes to both. So why are you getting in trouble? I mean, obviously because you're you, but I'm just saying, like, if it's the whole thing of you can't go to both places, you're not the only person. Like, cracking asses goes to both, like, Tara comes to both places, Magpie comes to both places. So you're by far not the only person who comes to mine and hers, but she's obviously just mad at you because obviously you're you. But I mean, well, I'm sorry for that. But like I always say, when people say shit about me, or like Tara being called an abuser, that says more about the person calling Tara an abuser than Tara, because Tara's obviously not an abuser. All right, I need some light. Woo! Bright light. Lighting is everything. So good. Actually, that's horrible light. That's even worse. That's even fucking worse. Let's turn the light off. Woo! All right. She said I was talking bad last night. I didn't post or say anything bad about her. Even it was for Karen. I've never seen you post anything bad about anybody. Well, it just shouldn't be. Like, it just shouldn't be that way. Bubblegum. All I said in Tony's, people need to not send. Yeah. You got blocked for saying it's the tavern's fault. All right. Well, I mean, and Hopi doing the pictures. That's what I think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's horrible that happens. So I wasn't sub to you, Peaches, so that's why I missed your live yesterday. But I'm sorry, I missed your live. But I feel horrible that she has to get pictures like that. I mean, do they just pop up in like private chat back there? Is that what happens? I mean, you know, Lovely 15 is Lovely 15, but I believe she's always had like a group working with her. And that group, I need sunlight, but I just like really horrible. I've always believed there were like more than one people like working with her. And you're the new Frank. Are you gonna destroy us, Bubblegum? I'm gonna get, so in preparation for getting my deviated septum done, I have this thing that I get to wear in my nose to keep my nose straighter so I can breathe better. Isn't that great? It's lovely, but I look like I have like a cow ring. You ever seen like cows? They get like a ring right there. That's what I feel like right now. But it's helpful. It actually keeps like things where they should be better. Well, I've always been the type of person where, if I'm friends with you and you're friends with someone who I'm not friends with, that's okay. Unless, of course, they've done something like really bad to me. Then I think, there's kind of a difference. Like if someone like raped me and you're friends with them and you're friends, like, you shouldn't be friends with someone, like, I wouldn't want you to be friends with someone who really, really harmed me in some grievous way. That I would think would be weird, because it's like, that person did something really bad to me. How could you be friends with them? Because, like, obviously it takes a horrible person to do, that light's horrible, something to me. But, if it's just talking shit and stuff, why can't you be friends with someone else? I don't understand that. Like, that's an immaturity thing. That's almost like an ownership thing, like, you're my friend, you can't be her friend, you're mine, not hers, kind of thing. And I've never really liked or understood that kind of thought process. I don't know. But again, it shows more about the other person than it shows about you. Magpie. Oh my gosh, Magpie. See, Magpie's another one. She goes into both chats and she doesn't get blocked or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, I think Tony has some things that she thinks happen that doesn't. Like, I heard her say, she said something like, I haven't even said, and like, the other people are saying vile things. I've said nothing near as vile as everyone said about me. And I'm sitting there like, do you remember what you say? Like, you said I was a whore. You wanted to dox my kids. You said I had an STD. You keep saying I'm too skinny and talking about my weight. You know, I mean, my God, like she said the most vile things about me. And I've never said anything about her except she's like an asshole for talking about me. Like, even if you listen to me and Justin's lives, we're not like, there's a difference. You know, we're talking about her behaviors and being an asshole. We're not sitting there being like, oh my God, like she doesn't, you know, like ragging on her like that. There's a difference. Good morning, September. Good morning, Magpie. I'm putting makeup on. I might, so you get blocked. You do get, but you get unblocked and you get wrenches. Like I just get blocked and I just stay blocked. Like that's the thing. Like, well, Magpie, I told her it says more about her than it says about, you know, or it says more about Tony than it says about her. Because, you know, all of us know Peaches doesn't do anything bad. You know, she hasn't. She's funny, she's respectful, she's a kind person. I've never really seen her do anything. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. Magpie, she should say she's so smart. Your parents are half siblings, you're so blood. She doesn't seem to understand that. You know, I have, yeah, there are some, like I'm Italian and I grew up in the 70s in the East Coast. And if you grew up in the 70s in the East Coast, you either were mafia or you were around it because that's just how it was. Like my mom worked for one of the restaurants, mafia restaurants that are money laundering restaurants. And my grandfather would go on Saturdays to, you know, get a shot and a beer at the club, which was basically the bada bing. So, I mean, I know the concept of family to a fault, and I get that. But if you notice, even in like the mafia, when you do someone dirty, you know, you like family can only go so far. So I get that you're family, but you don't need to support family to a fault, you know? Like when someone does something wrong, I fully don't believe in co-signing bullshit. So, you know, if someone does something wrong, you're not being a good friend, you're not being family if you just sit there and don't say anything, you know? Like I a good like part of why Tony is mad at me is because in my email I said, you know, you're not who I met in May. And I really would like to see that person again. And I don't like the fact that, you know, you're not in a good place and it's playing out live on YouTube. I wish that didn't have to happen. And, you know, apparently my giving empathy was like the worst thing in the world, you know? I guess she'd never heard that before. I'm sorry that your friends just co-sign your bullshit and are okay with you nodding off on lives. I mean, that's out there forever. You know, your kids are gonna in 5 years see that. Like that's not okay. You know? I mean, I would want my husband to take me offline if I was like that. You know, and I was giving her empathy and she took that as like some coming at her. I don't even understand. But you know, I don't, oh God, that's way too much. I don't think you're a good friend if you're just letting it be okay. Like I don't get that at all. I really don't. Um, I, did you know? Um, it was funny when I first started watching The Sopranos. I mean, I loved The Sopranos because it was like watching my life. I mean, I remember, and my family was not in the mafia, but like I said, if you grew up in that time period, you 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, you knew someone somewhere. And like I said, my mom worked, you know, at the restaurant that was really just laundering money. And, you know, so I'd go in there. She was a waitress. My mom was a single mom. I grew up on welfare. I lived in government housing. I'm going to do a series all about my life because I had a really, oh, I'm not really giving a tutorial. I'm just doing my makeup. I just happened to be doing my makeup. So it's kind of like, so I used no problem primer from Touch of Soul. I'm not really doing a tutorial. I'm like just doing my makeup. What I did do this morning, I have a pore sucker. Has anyone ever had a pore sucker? I have a pore sucker. You know, it goes and it sucks your pores. Because I have all those things to like, you know, I don't like those. So I have a pore sucker. So I did a pore. I sucked my pores. And then I used Biore, you know, the old Biore strips. They have like a mask, but it's not a mask. It's just like a warming thing. So yeah, so I did the pore sucker, and then I put this Biore warming mask on, and it's, you know, supposed to suck everything, and it did really good. It really took a lot of gunk out, I have to say. I was pretty impressed by it. So, but I did that this morning, and then I put on primer. And then I put on foundation. See, one of the reasons why I like get up and do makeup and do my hair is not because I'm full of myself or I hate myself, but I've always worked from home. And when you work from home, and I've always done that, I think maybe I worked in an office the first 2 years that I worked after medical school when I was in my 20s. And then I started my own company. I have this thing in my nose for my deviated septum. And so that's why you see it. So if I'm sticking stuff up my nose, it's this little thing. It's God, I got to get my nose fixed. But and then I always work from home. And when you work from home, people would always say, how do you, you know, work from home and not get distracted? It's really hard. It's really hard to know when you're working and when you're not working and work all the time and, you know, have that separation and you need that separation or else you're going to go crazy. So for me, that was my separation. Like I get up, I've done my makeup, I've done my hair, I look like I'm going to the office. So now, even though I'm at home, I'm working. And then when I'm done working, you know, I'm back, take everything off, just be bumming around the house. So that's kind of why I've always like done that. Because if I just got up and just stayed up like on the week, like you are on the weekends, then it's like, am I working? Am I chilling? Should I stop and watch a TV show? I don't know. For me, that was like my separation. Yeah, my husband's in the what? Okay, so my dad was I don't know my dad, first of all. I met him once when I was 18. I requested to meet him. That's a whole big long story. Never knew my dad growing up. Never met him. He kidnapped me. He was a horrible man. That's a whole nother story, but never knew my dad. Met him once when I was 18, so I could ask him questions like, do you have diabetes? Do you have high blood pressure? Like things like that. That's the kind of stuff I asked him. And I met him once for like 2 hours. Don't think he was in the mafia, but he was an asshole. So no, dad wasn't in the mafia. Don't know what he did, but he wasn't doing that. Husband in the FBI. Nope, hubby's not in the FBI. You know, it's funny because I made this joke to Hopi. Well, first I talked about the mafia just like I'm talking to you guys. Like, hello. I mean, I've talked to Robin Lennon. She's from the East Coast. She was in there in the 60s, and she's like the same thing. She's like, yeah, like, you know, we went to this place, and that was like, you just knew who the mafiosos were because if you were in certain towns in the East Coast, there were a lot of mafioso towns, and everyone knew who they were, and the businesses were owned by them. I mean, my family wasn't in the mafia, but we knew them. My mom worked for them. I mean, come on. My husband is not in the FBI. What I said to Heidi was that, well, first I said, I have a friend who works in the FBI who does the dark web stuff. He works on that stuff. And I said, that's a good contact because a lot of times it's really hard to get cyberbullying and stuff cases. You know, you know, give them to them and then who knows where they go, you know, like how do you get them to actually take your case and look at them? And I said, this is good because I have an in. Hopefully I can have an in to get something done about what's been done to me. That's how I talked about the FBI. I made a joke. I said, wouldn't it be funny if I acted like I was an FBI plant this whole time and I was here to get doxed? So then I could like dox the doxers. It was a joke that I made. and she took it seriously, I think. So I don't know where she got that. Never told her what my husband does, so I don't know why she would think he's in the FBI, but that's kind of crazy. What was the other one? I live in a mansion. Okay, so I live in California. So so if you look at houses, like what looks like a mansion here would probably cost $5 million. What looks like a normal house in the rest of the country is $1 million house. So my house by no means looks like a mansion. It's a typical little 2-story, regular 2,000 square foot detached garage house. I live in a normal looking house. It's nice, but it's normal. Doesn't look like a mansion. I've done well for myself, but I do not have mafia money. I remember when I yelled at her, but I wasn't really listening to what anyone, like, I don't totally remember the yell. But she did. My mom were like it. I remember the name, but I probably shouldn't say it. But she didn't know it at the time, which is the funny thing. Like everybody kind of assumed certain people were certain things, but you never really said it or asked. But after they got busted, because all of them, so basically the town that my grandparents lived in was a big, one of the heads lived around there, and he eventually got busted, and there's no mafia around anymore, but he got busted, and he was one of the huge heads, and he lived, around there. So that was one of his restaurants. And, like my mom worked there. So she didn't know it at the time. She always suspected it because she would say, I would go in the back and, someone would bring like he loved frog legs. Someone would bring him frog legs and he'd give him like $10,000 in cash. Weird thing. Like, so she always suspected, but I mean, so growing up, I'm very street smart. I learned how to size people up. I mean, I was around, mafia the whole time growing up, but we weren't in the mafia. I mean, come on. Yeah. One of my friends it was a 500 square foot, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and the size of the lot was basically the size of the house. It was like less than a quarter acre. It was like the house and then like a fence around it. And it was like $600,000. I mean, the median house price is like $900,000. I mean, in the town I live in, if you can find a house under $700,000 like that, you might be able to, but it's going to be a shithole. And I mean, like, you want to tear it down shithole. Like, it's really crazy here. So if you live in a mansion here that looks like a mansion, that's a $5 million house. I have to get face powder real quick. Hold on. I'll be right back. Stocking. I was Pippi Longstocking in a play once. Hold on. I'm going to grab some. Okay. But I will tell you, um, welcome Pippi Longstocking. So first of all, since we do have new people, I should say who all is here. So first of all, thank you all for being members. I know a lot of creators don't really do anything with memberships, and memberships are like, you just give me money to say, hey, I like you. I don't know. I don't I don't really think that's okay to like take people's money and not do anything. So I do a lot of stuff. I think I'm going to make the pickup time video kind of like a series kind of thing because it's kind of fun driving. Um, and like, oh my God, clip that. That just came out crazy. Because I like going to get the kids and like sitting there talking while I'm waiting. Everyone thinks I'm crazy because I'm talking to myself, but hey. whatever. But so like I like the pickup time video thing. I have this little thing for my deviated septum in here. So if I'm picking inside my nose, I'm not really picking my nose, and I'm not going to eat my boogers either. But I like sitting there. But man, so the first car I ever had was well, first I was going to say hi to people. See, I get distracted easily. I think I'm like ADHD. I've never been diagnosed, but I think I am. So let's see who's here for the new people. So we have Bubblegum, we have Peaches, we have Magpie, we have September, we have Sweet Pea. Who else is here? We have Tara. We have Miss Jean, who's new. We have Pippi Longstocking, who's new. Tooth Fairy was in here. And is there anybody I missed? I don't think so. So I think Miss Jean found me through Snoz, right? I think. Pippi Longstocking, how did you find me? Let's see how everybody found me. See, when you do your makeup, you look really weird at certain points. Like right now, I have like this really weird colored face. So you look really ridiculous. So how did you find me? Oh, House of Williams? Oh, cool. Mallory's going into true crime. That's going to be interesting. Everyone's going into true crime, man. I think Mallory will be good at. I like her attitude. Like just tell it like it is. I really like, I think I said it yesterday, Mallory's talk about comedy, that the difference between comedy and hate is all about intent. Because I was talking to Cindy yesterday, who's one of Ziggy's mods, and we were just joking about the fact, like when she first met me, she hated me big time because I roasted Ziggy. But she's like, I really like you now. And it's like, yeah, a lot of people misinterpret comedy as hate. They think comedy is hate, and it's not. It's, meant to draw attention to certain things that are silly and illogical. And, maybe we should change. But anyway, but I was talking about The Sopranos. The first time I watched The Sopranos, I thought it was hilarious, especially when I saw the bottom big. Oh, House of Williams. Oh, cool. You will learn about the people I talk about. The people I talk about are a dime a dozen. It doesn't really matter. It's just a different name on the same kind of face, right? I mean, it's all the same kind of bullshit. And I actually looked it up. It's actually a mental condition called, hey, there's Tooth Fairy, called relational aggression. And it's the concept of older women, and it's oftentimes women who did not finish high school, or they don't have a lot of education, and they maybe didn't grow up with the best home life, strong parents, they saw a lot of fighting, that kind of thing. And so as an adult, they tend to compare themselves to other women, and so they become mean women, basically. And that's kind of like what I deal with, and I've dealt with it my whole life. But so it doesn't really matter the names. They're all the same. It's just different names for the same concept. I have ADHD. I probably do. I think my brain just thinks faster than my mouth sometimes. And I get distracted very easily. But I didn't used to be this bad. I don't know if this is bad, but I didn't used to be to this level. Well, I don't want to take, because I'm in pain management, so I don't think they would give me. You can't mix that with anything else. But I didn't used to be this bad, I guess, or this, not finish a thought and forget things until I was in a coma in 2016. And I was in a coma for 10 days. And prior to the coma, I wasn't expected to live, but prior to the coma, I almost died because I didn't have enough oxygen to my brain for a long period of time. And so I had brain damage, basically. And so I do have problems with short-term memory. I'll forget things. Like my kids will ask me for something, and if I get distracted by something else in the process of doing that, done, don't remember it. all gone, out of my brain. So yeah, so I think I probably always did, but now it really shows. Um, yeah, you know what? When I was younger, my one friend's dad was a psychiatrist, and she said, I think you're ADD like me. And he was like, oh, yeah, you both are. So I probably am. But like I said, I don't think I was this wacky all over the place with like stories and thoughts until the coma. And now my brain has just changed. And I think it's more apparent. Um, so anyway, yeah, I think Mallory's a hoot. And Mallory's this, comedy it's all about intent. And I don't, when I do my little roast, there's no intention to hurt people. I mean, even my roast of Tony, the one so what does cheese and rice mean? I see people talking about cheese and rice. I've seen that several times and I don't know what it means. And I feel like there's an inside joke and I'm not part of it and I want to be part of it. But even my, video about Tony, like if you listen to it, I'm not saying anything bad about her. Like I'm not ripping on her weight. I'm not ripping on her looks. I'm basically talking about how she acts towards me and that she's an asshole for it, you know? Like everything I say is pretty much, here's how you act and based on that, here's, what I think of you. It's not just like you're a whore. You must have an STD, blah, blah. Fuck you, you fucking on. Like there's a difference there. It's a nicer way to say Jesus, see? Is it like the C word? Am I being really stupid right now? Because I don't get it. Where did my lipstick go? I have lipstick somewhere. Um, but anyway, what were we talking about before that? Oh, just the Italian thing. I remember watching The Sopranos and being like, oh my God, that's like my family growing up. And the first time they had the bada bing on there, I was like, oh my gosh. Like I remember my grandfather would say, like, I want to go get a shot in a beer on Saturdays because my mom worked at the restaurant. So I would stay with my grandparents, Saturday to Sunday night. She would work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so he would say, I'm going to go get a shot in beer. He'd take me with him. And it was a brick building with no windows. And he would knock on the door. It was a metal door with just a little thing. And they would open and you would see the person's eyes and he would look and he would say, Mr. And then it was like a typical Italian name. And the thing would close and he would open the big metal door and then we would go in. And it was just like in the Bada Bing on an afternoon, it was just the bar and there's a couple old Italian men sitting there drinking, and one person at the bar and blah blah blah. I don't think Christ is a bad word. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I was like, Jesus, see, what does that mean? Cheese and rice. Oh, I get it. I say Jesus Christ. I'm like, holy Jesus. But anyway, there's ADHD thing. So, and we would sit down and I remember one time I was sitting there and they had the stripper pole thing and, the whole row and the mirrors and the pole and blah, blah, blah. And I was a ballerina growing up. So I remember one time I was looking at it and I was like, Grandpa, can I go dance up there? Because I was ballerina and they had mirrors. And, when you're ballerina, you have the bar. And one of the other gentlemen sitting there was like, and I remember my grandfather was like, you say anything again and I'll fucking take you out. And I didn't realize any of this. I grew up in Pennsylvania and but on the Pittsburgh side. And when I first saw The Sopranos and they showed the Bada Bing, I was like, oh my God, my grandfather took me to the Bada Bing. Like he took me to the Bada Bing growing up. That's like I had no idea. But when I saw it, I was like, and I remember it because it was always weird. It was a big brick building. And, where it was located, it was kind of like on the side of the road, like way down, like in a nowhere's land part of like the town. It's a gray brick building, ugly building, not a single window, metal door, painted gray. and just a little slit. They always look out there. Bada fucking bing. I got to go get my lipstick. I'll be right back. Hold on. But I mean, that was the 70s. That was a long time ago, and the head of the family got busted a long time ago. And, that's that. So we were talking about Hobie saying all that about me. So no, Dad's not in the mafia. Husband's not in the FBI. The house is here. A mansion is like $5 million to look like a mansion. So don't live in anything that looks like that. I'm a normal girl in a normal house. And that's that. I mean, my gosh. I don't understand where all this money talk comes from. Like Tony's got this, I don't understand it. I don't talk about what I do or don't have, never would. I think it's really unclassy to talk about that kind of stuff. I don't really get it. I don't know where she got it. I think she like nods off and thinks things like dreams things or something and thinks things happen that don't, because I really don't get it. Because I don't know. She's like, I'm reading. Yeah, I don't cuss around my kids too. Who's Alexander Rotovsa? Wait, what was the normal name? I don't remember that name. Alexander Rostova. Is that right? Rostova? Alexander Rostova. Am I correct? So do you have a new name? Because I don't remember that name. So tell us about yourself, Alexander. Hey, Stars. Stars is here. I didn't swear around my kids either. I mean, I still try not to, although now one is 12 and one is 10. So I do I've let my guard down and I will swear a little bit. See, now I get to actually have a face. I hate after you put foundation on and you just have like a big, like gray face and you have no anything. You have no, like, you're just like gray matte face. It's like, you look so ridiculous. Where's my other chat? Because I'm looking in StreamYard, which is really slow. Debbie says what? Hey, I think Gone Girl was the one who gave the membership. Gone Girl is really, really sweet. I don't think is she here? I don't think she's here. Let's see. No, I don't think she's here. But Gone Girl is super, super, super sweet. She's actually subbed to a lot of people. So did you just get a membership? Because I know all the members' names. Did you just get a membership? You must have just got a membership. You must be a totally new member then, right? Hold on, let me see. No, you just usually don't chat? Hold on. Wait. Look at all the names. Because I have it, because it shows me a list, and that name isn't on the list. What? Are you Kurt? So you have had to have changed your name from what it says in the membership thing. I'm not saying you did anything wrong, so don't think I'm saying that. I'm just saying, so it shows me a list of members, but that's weird. Hi, hey Debbie, you're at Disney? Oh my gosh. Peaches, I love how excited. I missed Peaches Live. See, this is weird. So if I look at my list of members, I don't see an Alexander on it. It's weird. Like, why doesn't it show you? That's so strange. Oh, there you are. You know what? I must have missed when you signed up. I'm so sorry. I never like welcomed you. I never missed. I told you're right here under Shell the Tartan Gong. I'm sorry. I missed that you're a member. Hello. Welcome, Alexander, new member. Oh my gosh. You're right there. Because I usually like to see something when there's a new member and and you don't chat. So I didn't even know. I'm sorry. I feel really badly now. Hello. Alexander's a new member. He's been a member for 11 days. And I've never said hi to you or said thank you. I'm sorry. I feel like a real big ass now. Well, welcome, Alexander. I'm sorry I've not publicly addressed you. Well, welcome. And we're glad to have you. So where are you now? Are you in Russia now? Are you still there? Or where are you? I mean, you don't have to tell me actually if you don't want to. The Grinch showed up to Pete. Oh, the Grinch actually came. Someone dressed as the Grinch came to Peaches, because that would be awesome. Do you know I was Pippi Longstocking in a play once, and it was one of the favorite plays I ever did. I loved it. I loved being Pippi Longstocking because I've always had really long hair. So, and my real hair was really long. So I just used my real hair for like the braids and stuff. Hold on. My phone's kind of going off. Make sure nothing's going on here. Okay. I'm having this big problem. I tried to get solar and I had this big problem, and the company is a bunch of assholes. And I'm probably going to have to like get a lawyer and sue them, which is really annoying, which is why I'm kind of doing like more makeup today, because I need to like have my balls on for talking to lawyers, because I don't like that kind of shit. I don't like, believe it or not, I don't like fighting with people. I don't like controversy. I don't like conflict. I shy away from it. I really hate having conflict of any way, shape, or form. I don't like it. So if I have to have it, I need to like be all ballsed up for it, because I don't like having to talk to lawyers. I don't like having to like be a bitch like that. I don't like any of that kind of stuff. I just hate it. I don't know why people are like that today. Like today's day and age, everybody like, and you hear it all over YouTube too. Like, oh, I'm going to send you a cease and desist. I'm going to sue you. Like, why are people like that? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Especially like Heidi's one of the worst. I don't know if I had $1 for how many times Heidi has said she's going to like get a lawyer and sue someone. I mean, apparently she has her lawyer is going over my bed bugs live. I mean, come on, Heidi. Are you kidding me? You're in the US now? Well, where in the US? You don't have to say exactly, but are you on the east or west or east coast? Well, you should try and chat more, because that will help you with your English. Just trying to say, like, random English, like, English here. Yeah, Heidi's internet attorney. Ridiculous. Hey, Jersey Cat, you just came in. Alexander, the more you try and chat, the better your English will get. So you should try and chat more, because it will help your English. But yeah, Heidi said her attorney was going through my bed bugs live, and that's the thing, all these people like to say, well, I don't watch your videos. I don't go to your channel. Okay, so how do you know what I say? And how do you know that when you're saying I say things that you're not wrong? Because you are always wrong. It's like, come on. If you're going to talk about me, if you're going to say I said this, that, and the other thing, you got to watch the freaking live to see what I actually said. That just makes sense to me. I don't know. But clearly, the cool thing to do these days is read the title and decide what someone's doing based on the title. So since my title had the word bed bug in it, it must be all about Heidi, right? So the Grinch actually paid a visit. That's super sweet. That's really awesome. Well, you know what? I have to watch them, because that's content. East Coast. I grew up on the East Coast. That's what I was talking about when I was saying like, a lot of the mafia was on the East Coast, which my husband is not, or my what wait, who no, my dad was in the mafia. That's what Hopi says. He wasn't really. So for Tony's video, I had to watch, oh my God, probably a good like 30 hours. That was rough. I don't know what was rougher, just watching it or like watching 30 hours of someone like yell at you and rip on you. My goodness. Like, oh my gosh. I like, so I'm going to make another one. So like, I have to listen again. And the other day she said something like, she's never talked about me, or she's only talked about me once. I mean, so I might do something in a video that it's like her saying something with the date, because it's literally every day. It's like October 11th, October 12th. Like there might be a day or two in there missing, but for the most part, it's like an everyday Queen OG comes up. Queen OG, Queen OG, Queen OG. I mean, it's silly. I mean, on YouTube, pretty much any talk is good talk. I mean, even someone saying horrible things about you isn't really the worst thing in the world. Privyet, is that where you were from? Oh no, what does Privyet mean? Is that a town, or does that mean like hello or something? I don't know Russian, obviously. Obviously. But when we first were in here, we were talking about Tony, and I think she's gotten to believe some of the things she says. Like if you watch the video, which everyone should watch the video, because I think it's one of my best videos, to be honest. Like I'm learning how to edit. I'm learning a lot of things. I really think it was one of my best videos. Hold on. Here's a link to it. Where's StreamYard? Okay, here we go. All right. Well, I have to watch them because Tony talks about me in her channel, but she talks the most vile stuff in Purple's channel, I have to say. So you don't even want to know how many hours of crap I had to watch to make that video. And I ended up with so many good clips and good ideas that I'm going to do another one, because even though I heard her yesterday saying like, like basically like I don't want to talk, I don't want to fight anymore, we shouldn't fight anymore, but then she's still saying shit about me. Like if you're gonna still say bad things about me, like like if you wanted to stop calling me names, like just stop talking about me. Like it's like, come on. Like what I do is comedy videos and kind of roast people funnily. So if you're going to make fun of me, you should expect to get a video. But there was one point where she was saying like, I said I'm pretty, and then something else, and then money, and then I'm spoiled. Like she's like was going and going and going. So I think she kind of starts to believe, like she says something and then she'll say something else, and then she like, it's like when you lie, you lie more and you add new things, and suddenly it gets bigger and bigger and turns into something it's completely not. I think like that's going on. Like she's like has so many lies that she's starting to believe them herself. I was just going to say, when is your test? Sweet Pea is taking the real estate exam. I told her she should come out to California and do real estate. I actually had a bunch of friends start to do real estate like in the late 90s. I had a lot of friends get into it, because back then, oh my God, I lived in Palo Alto, which is like the heart of Silicon Valley, where the internet was founded. So I went to medical school. I decided to leave because I didn't want to go down that path. So I didn't do residency or anything like that. I left and I moved to Palo Alto in the mid 90s. And there were all the internet wasn't there was no internet yet. Email had just started coming out. Cell phones were like, if you had one, it was in a briefcase. And there were all these people, 20-year-olds, like in their jammies, making a shit ton of money, coding, doing some weird thing, doing the internet, and so I got into that. So I was one of those founding members of the internet stuff, but I lived in Palo Alto. And I remember when I wanted to buy a house, and it was crazy. That was the crazy time period. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from like Pittsburgh area, East Coast. But I remember like I was married then to another person, and we were looking to buy a house. And that was the time period where you would have like a house like mine. I'm like 2,000 square foot, 4 bed, 2 bath. And a house like this, then you would probably put it on for like 1.8, 2, but then they would have price wars and people would bid, and it would bid up to like 2.8. Crazy, like crazy stuff. And then the dot-com bust came like 2001, and houses lost half their value. I remember I had a house and my husband and I were getting divorced. So we wanted to like sell it, but it literally was worth, like back then you had to put a 20% down payment down. So we put a large down payment, but it was worth less than what we owed, which was like 30% less than what we paid for it. So, I ended up renting it out, and I just sold it a few years ago. But I mean, it was like there were a lot of people who bought stuff on stock options. So it's like you have stock with the option to buy. So you really don't own it yet until you buy it, until you sell it and get the money for it. So I had people who were like had their house bought on options, and when the bust came, those became worthless. So they had no money for the house. They couldn't pay for anything. Like things were getting repoed left and right. People, like there was a saying, when I was 26, I was a multimillionaire. Now I'm just 27, because people just lost everything, like literally everything. Still waiting for the state to approve my application. Do you have to do all that for a real estate exam? Whoa, that's crazy. I'm reading chat. So what is everyone doing today? So if you have kids, this is probably their last day of school, right? Do you know what they call me over in Purples now? Tony and Frank made a nickname for me. I'm Fuckface, and Tabby's Twat Waffle. I'm Fuckface. Isn't that nice? Isn't that so nice? Why do I look like I have like a black thing right there? Isn't that like just so nice? I try and do the get ready with me once a week, and then I kind of want to do like something on a topic. Like I don't know, like the Kylie Rodney case fascinates me because I really don't think it was an accident. But I'd like to do lives like on different topics and stuff. And then I have my pickup time video. I do a lot of videos. I like hanging out in smaller groups, and if anyone ever wants to come up, they can. Like I'm pretty laid back. Like I mean, you guys have all been in my chats. Like like I don't have any. I never get trolls. I don't know. I don't. I see like Purple, like her whole thing gets derailed because she has trolls, and it's like, okay, people are saying shit in your chat, like there's this light coming in that's really bugging me. You have people saying crap in your chat. You can just ignore it. Like, believe it or not, you can just ignore it. And then it like goes away. Like, you don't have to sit there and yell back and turn it into a big thing. I mean, you can, and then it becomes a big thing, and then it derails everything. Your show. That's another thing. It's not a show. You know what a show is? A show is like, pigs on ice. That's a show. You plan it, you practice it, you make it. A show is like, ballet or like clowns or something. Like a show is some prepared made thing. A show is not, I'm going to go in front of my laptop and spew shit. You just spew some devil shit. Can you ask us? Of course, you can ask whatever you want, sweetie. Oh, I just called you sweetie. That was like really creepy. Yeah, you can ask whatever you want. So I'm really laid back. Like even in my lives, I'm like, we don't have trolls. People can say whatever they want. I like opinions. I'm pretty laid back. So you can ask whatever you want. You can come up, you can ask whatever you want, whatever. I just, life is about having fun. Do you think Hopi's I think she's lying. I think she's lying. I don't think her daughter is missing. I don't, because, and well, one reason I think that is because I know Hopi. And the other reason I think that is because someone saw her in a different chat. There was some chat of like, I forget the name, but it's someone who people are starting to watch now. And it was like a car chase, like a police chasing a car. And she was in there while it was alive. And she was in there chatting with other people, like totally laughing, having a good time. Not the prototypical, my daughter is missing right now and I'm crying. Like she was in there chatting, having a good time, like half an hour before she went into purples and was freaking out. I mean, and doesn't it seem like just perfect timing to like just right now, my daughter is going missing during a time period, and I'm going to tell it to my friend who does stuff on missing kids. It's just a little too coincidental. So my opinion is that I am 99% sure that Hopi is lying and her daughter isn't missing. Her daughter doesn't live with her, and her daughter's, she told me she was going to be 18 like in a few months. Like she might be 18 right now. I mean, she was 17. She was going to be like 18 soon. And then she tells other people she's 16 because she wants to say she's underage. Because she was telling me, I know you're not supposed to have minors like on your channel, but she's going to be 18 in a few months and I'm her mom and I get to make the decision anyway. So I let her on my channel and she's going to be on my panel. So, I mean, I don't know. She's six when she wants it to be, she's a minor and she's 16. When she wants it to be, she's gonna be 18 here in another like 2 minutes when a cow farts and like she's an adult. So I don't know. But her kids have never lived with her for not good reasons. And her daughter's in college. She doesn't see her daughter very often. No, no, no. No, 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 no. You're fine. No, no, you're fine. You can ask whatever you want, and that's a perfectly valid question. And has anyone heard from her or seen her since she bolted off of Purples? Like, I don't really pay attention to her, and I'm not sub to her or anything. I mean, and I only really watch Purple or Tony like after the fact on like 2 speed, recording it to like get content. So I don't really pay attention. So has anyone seen her since she left Purples? Because I mean, her and Frank are starting a channel. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Anyone? Anyone? Nope, no one's seen her. I don't know. I really want to check the time periods because when we were friends, she would like leave. Gone girl. There you are. So a lot of you who are new members and got gifted memberships, that's who you got them from. Gone Girl. Gone Girl has, God, Gone Girl's been a sub to me for forever. How long have you been sub to me, girl? You've been sub to me for a long, long time. But Gone Girl is very sweet. How are you doing, by the way, on this beautiful Friday, cool, crisp fall day? That's a good, it might be, Pippi. It might be. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the funny thing is right before we stopped being friends, I gave her $100 for a VPN. And she was all like, I'm gonna pay you back $6 a month. Oh, never heard that again. It's like I gave her like $50 to go to the beach with her son. I gave her $100 for a VPN. I mean, I knew like I was probably like she wasn't really getting a VPN, but I mean, I'm a generous person, like whatever, she was my friend, I don't really care. But it's just kind of funny. But yeah, she could be trying to do it to get money. I mean, I don't know. Let's just say I talked with someone who actually investigated the whole electricity thing and oh, honey, you're still in the hospital. Do you know like how long or do you know anything? And I want you to email me. I'm going to email you. I know I did email you. I emailed you my number, so you can text me anytime. I'm not always great with picking up the phone. No, you're not crossing the line at all. So every time I go live, I get restricted calls. I swear to God, whoever you are who is probably watching and get restricted calling me, I'm going to find out who you are. That's all I'm going to say. So I am a very, very honest person. I'm like like in my younger days, I was more friends with guys than girls because I'm just like, I just say it like it is. Like how I am is how I am. If I like you, I'm going to like you. If I don't like you. So if you say something that's crossing the line, I will say, you know what? That's kind of crossing the line. Let's move on. So if I don't say that, you're just fine. Um, I love that movie Gone Girl. I love Angelina Jolie. I really do. And I really liked her and Brad Pitt together. I wish they'd stayed together forever. But Gone Girl's been sub to me. You love my honesty. Well, a lot of people don't. A lot of people do. A lot of people don't. But that's okay. At least you always know where you stand with me. You know, when you're an honest person, like you know where you stand. Like you'll know. Like a lot of people. Like I had someone the other day who was asking like, do I like them? Like they were like, are you sure? Like you like me, okay, right? And I was like, honey, if I don't like you, you will know. Like you will know. Like I'm not passive aggressive. I'm not gonna like pretend and blow smoke up your ass. You donated $85. A lot of people donated for that battery. $85. That's a lot. Oh. Um, that's why you know, Peaches, you're just getting hate because you came to my channel, you poor thing. That's why I'm getting hate too. So you know what, Peaches? You just need to be with people who respect you a little bit more. That's, you know, and I think everybody here, like Miss Jean, I like authentic and not fake sugar. Yeah, I'm not Willy Wonka. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. Like, and I don't want people to do that to me either. Like, I want to know where I stand with people. I don't like passive aggressive. Like, my husband's mom, who we don't talk to anymore, but that's a long story. But she's very passive aggressive. She's very passive aggressive, and I'm very aggressive. Like I'm passive. I'm aggressive. Like there's Heidi gave $200 for it. So how much is a battery? I don't know. Let's look it up. How much is a scooter battery? I mean, I'm just going to look up just a general scooter battery. Let's see what a scooter battery. Scooter batteries in battery accessories. Oh, they're $25.99. Let's see. Here's $34.99, $25.99. Oh, yeah, they are cheap. We have a golf cart. You know, one of those little. We have a golf cart. Because I live in the mountains and we drive around in a golf cart sometimes. But yeah, the battery for the golf cart is like $50, I think. But that's buying it, and everything's more expensive. Here's one for $62.88. How much does an electric scooter battery cost? Okay, here's an electric scooter battery costs between 150 and up to 300 for the average model. Okay, so here's ones on Amazon. So these other batteries, I don't. Well, these ones. Oh, here's one 179. So what's these ones? Well, this one says it's a scooter battery too. So I'm seeing a lot in the price range of like 25, 30, $40. But then there are some ones that are really expensive. Now here's one that says, how much does an electric scooter battery cost? This one says between 100 and 300, depending on its type. Okay. So it varies. This one says $50 to $250. So if she got $200 and $85, she paid for the battery, probably moreover. And I know she got a bunch of other money for that battery too. So she more than paid for that battery. But yeah, I'm just honest. I'm gonna tell you like it is. And I like when people do that to me. Um, So I didn't see Peaches live last night. Is it still up? My father's tired of me. Upset over. You know what? I don't know if the scooter has been sold. So are you so Peaches, you did a live last night and then Tony did a live today? And yes, I'm sure. I was told yesterday no. Okay. Hey Eliza. Okay, so I'll watch. So Peaches, yours was last night. And then, oh, yours was 145. Okay. So, I mean, 285, she definitely paid for it. And I know she got a lot of other donations for it too. It is for sale. So, I think Red and Pooh, who is not me, I have no idea who Red and Pooh is. I kind of don't want to know. I wish it would stay a mystery for forever. And it's funny, I always call Pooh a he. Like most people on here are girls, and it's probably a girl. Because I think one time we were in, because I'm in I'm in a Discord with Pooh, which is why I know one time when I yelled at Hopi, that one time I went on Purples and yelled at Hopi, which I just listened to for the first time like 3 weeks ago. I remember she was like, why are you on here? Because I guess Red and Pooh was on there, and like then I came on or something. And she's like, how did you know to come on here? And it's like, I'm in a Discord with Red and Pooh. Red and Pooh told me, like, we're in a Discord together. We can get in touch with each other. But I kind of don't want to ever know who Red and Pooh is. But I always say he. For some reason, Pooh, I think, is a man. I don't know why. Isn't that weird? You know, like I was just saying about my husband's mom is very passive aggressive and we don't talk to her. I've learned, wasn't even about, gosh, I've missed a lot, I think. I think I've missed a lot between Tony and Peaches here. Oh my gosh, I got to catch up. But, I will say, just because two people bone down doesn't give them the right to tell you what to do or run your life. Two people got knocked up. They boned. They had sex. Great. Doesn't mean they get to rule your life. Okay. Like, why does that make them any more able to rule your life than a good friend? Just because you technically have some genetic similarities, why should that mean that they can be horrible to you? Sometimes our family is worse to us than any person would ever be because we can't kick them out. Like if a friend treats you like shit, you're like, bug off. But family, you can't really do that. You can actually, because we don't talk to my husband's mom or dad, but it's hard. And a lot of people judge you for it because it's supposed to be family. But just because you're family, like you have to think about it. Think if this person was not family, would I allow them to treat me this way? Would I have a relationship? And if the answer is no, then you have to think, well, just because two people boned, why do I allow that behavior? Right. So, okay, so I'm going to read chat. So I clearly missed something. So Peaches had a live last night and then Tony responded today. Is that what it is? She's saying she needs a different one because where she's moved, I don't know. Confusing. You know what? My husband always felt like he was the black sheep of his family. He always felt like he didn't fit in. He just, and he's very different than the rest of his family. And he always felt like that too. He felt like he didn't fit in. He felt like his parents loved his brother and sister more than him. He felt like he didn't belong. And so when he turned 18, he left and he moved because he grew up in the Bay Area and he moved, we're in Northern California. He moved up here as soon as he kind of, could. And he just, said, I'm going to go live my own, if you don't approve of my life, I'm going to go live my life where I want to. And, so maybe you just need to go do your own thing. Maybe you're, if they were friends, would you still be around them, or would you just go do your own thing and get new friends? Sometimes you have to think about it that way. Oh yeah, hold on. I'll tell you something in a second. Hold on. Okay. Um, oh, Peaches did it. So Peaches did another live this morning. Oh, Tony still like, okay, so oh. Okay, so Peaches, you went live. So Peaches, when did you go live? And the live that you did was about Karen, right? So that's number one. So you did a live and it was really about Karen. And you did it last night? And this was last night. This was a Peaches live last night, right? I did it last night. Okay. Peaches, you're just dragging everybody. You're like, last night was Karen, today's Tony, and then Tony's live today talking about it. Of course. All right, I'll listen to both of those. But yeah, just because someone's family doesn't mean they get to treat you like crap. I mean, I don't know why we allow that, but and I heard her say that. She's like, "You're family and you should do this and da 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 da." Tony listens to what she wants to listen to. I hate to say it, but she's very good at manipulating people. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that she is as whatever as she pretends to be. I think a lot of what she does, she knows exactly what she's doing. I mean, I'd like to just sit in bed all day and have someone go get me food and bring it back to me and take care of me and blah, blah, blah. She knows what she's doing, you know? Oh, oh, hey, Amanda Wolf. Would you agree with a relative going on a chat that has said they dislike you? They can do whatever they want. I mean, that's not my place to tell. I mean, know lots of people who, you know, I mean, just because someone dislikes you, I mean, if let's say I'm friends with, okay, so let's say my husband, let's say I don't like you, Amanda, and my husband goes on your chat. That's I don't have any right to tell him not to just because I don't like you. I mean, that's not, I think that would be really childish and immature and selfish of me to say just because I don't like you that he can't like you, or whatever. I don't think that's my place. Now, if you did something really horrible to me, like, I don't know, like you doxed me or you beat me up or like did something really bad to me, then I might say, hey, that that's not a good person because they did that to me. Then I might have grounds to say, you should not be friends with someone who would obviously treat someone like that, especially treating me like that. But just for being friends, I don't think someone should decide if they like someone based on their relation with them, not on my opinion. And a lot of people do that. No, they wouldn't. It wouldn't at all. I mean, just so let's say you and I aren't friends. There's a reason maybe we're not friends, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's something petty, like you like baseball and I like hockey, and you said hockey's stupid. Like, there's a reason that maybe we don't get along. But you and my husband might get along well, like not liking someone, that's such a small thing. Wait, what do you was the relative over here before that? What do you mean? Yeah. So we know you, Pippi Longstocking, but we don't know you. So we know, like, so if we saw your real name, we would know you. Well, you know, Heidi doxed me. I mean, my God. Was Peaches ever here before this? I don't know. Were you ever here before this? I don't know. But she might not be, but what does that have to do with it? She was here before that. I mean, but if she wasn't, maybe she wasn't because she didn't really know about me. I mean, maybe she only knew about me. I don't like, yeah, Peaches is a new member. Peaches got a gifted membership from God Girl yesterday. But the reason Tony doesn't like me is because she thinks something happened that didn't happen, basically. I mean, she thinks I said things that I didn't. She thinks I did things that I didn't. So she dislikes me for a ridiculous reason. And so her telling Peaches that Peaches can't come in my chat because she dislikes me for a reason that she shouldn't, I think is kind of ridiculous. I mean, you know, not liking someone, I mean, maybe you don't, I mean, I just, I don't think because I don't get along with someone that that person can't get along with someone who I'm friends with. I just don't. I mean, like two people could be best friends and I could meet them and hate them. I mean, but that doesn't, I mean, I just don't. I don't, I don't. Hey, I'm a proud Marine mom. How are you? You know what? I will say after being doxxed, it is kind of a relief. Um, yeah, I think Peaches can do whatever she wants. And, you know, like Tony and I don't get along because whatever, but I mean, and it's true. Tony and I don't get along because Tony's a bitch to me, but Peaches and I get along just fine. There's a hairball going on over there. I don't know if you can hear it. You probably can. She's kind of quiet. But I mean, going back to it, I mean, the reason Tony dislikes me is because she thinks something happened that didn't. So first of all, we're going off on a ridiculous reason to begin with. It's not like I actually ever did anything to Tony, you know, or anything ever happened. Well, that's another thing. Tony is now saying that I'm part of the shorty scam. Like that's the thing. That's the thing that I don't like. Like it's one thing to look shame me or body shame me or call me a whore or make fun of my eyelashes or my boobs or whatever. But it's another thing when she's putting out that, you know, I'm part of a shorty scam or I'm a drug addict or, you know, some of these other things, you know. Hold on, I'm trying to make my computer go higher up. Maybe it doesn't go any higher. So it goes one higher up than that. Because, you know, that's just there we go. That's just not that's just not something that you want out there. You know, I have kids that go on the internet. That's not something that you should put out there to the world, you know? Like that's the stuff that I'm like, you need to stop saying that. Because one, it's not true, and B, that's not the stuff you want out there, right? Um, but it's funny. I mean, you know, like Heidi did what she did, and you know, Harper has all the evidence, and it's just kind of crazy. But Heidi's Heidi, you know, but you know, she apologized, so it's okay. And I never accused her. I mean, you can look at all the emails. You know, I was all talking about Heidi or Tara. And, you know, suddenly she's just like, I never did that. You know, it's like, well, why are you so who said it yesterday? I think Tony said it. She said when people say they didn't do something too much, it's obvious that they're guilty. And Heidi said something like, what do you mean? Like she thought she was talking about Heidi, which she wasn't talking about Heidi, but Heidi knows, she says that she didn't do things. that she too much because she knows she did do them. I don't know if that even just made sense what I said. But Heidi, yeah, Heidi saying sorry in an I'm sorry but way. I mean, that she needs to realize that. She may have said she's sorry, but it wasn't a true apology, because she'll apologize, but then the next time something comes up, she'll just talk disparagingly about the people. So then she kind of invalidates her own apology, which is why it doesn't mean anything, It's just weird. See, I didn't really know Shorty, like, at all. Like, I talked to her a couple times just because she liked my videos, and like I would go over there and say hi, and she'd play my video. And I remember when I was really close to 1,000, all of a sudden I was looking, and it was like going up. It was like 980, like it was like 981, 982. And I was like, someone must be saying something about me because all these people are summing up like da 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 da. And so I looked for who was live, and Shorty was live, and she was over there, and she's like, "We're trying to get you to 1,000," and everyone's over there, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And so I only knew Shorty like that, like quick conversations, funny quick conversations, and she was hilarious. So yeah, it's kind of sad that turned out to be that way, and no one's ever heard from her again. Like no one's heard from her again. Like she just disappeared. She's probably around. Does she still have a channel? Let me look if she still has a. Hi, honey. Are you getting ready to go? Okay. I want to see if she has a channel. Does she still have a channel? Shorty, what was it? Shorty from Jersey. Shorty from Jersey. God, and she reminded me of like growing up on the East Coast. Oh, she still has a channel. 1,300 subscribers. It's so funny that she still like most of her subs are still her subs. Like people haven't even unsubscribed from her. Like I think that's hilarious that people haven't like a bunch of people. I think she had like 1,500. So she did lose some, but like most of her subs are still even her subs. Like that's the other thing. The fact that why is Tony bringing up Shorty? Like out of the blue. I think it was a couple days ago when she started in on, it was during Brandy's, and she started in on, me and Justin and Molly and stuff. And like out of the blue, she was like, and they're in the Shorty scam. And it was like, I haven't heard Shorty's name in months. Like, what? The Shorty scam is back. I got like something in my eye. It's like, what? And that was during Brandy's stuff. That really made me mad. That really made me mad. That like that was supposed to be Brandy's stuff, and she said something. I got a lot of good clips yesterday. She had a live yesterday. I had a lot of good clips. She said something like, and she does this. She totally like invalidates what she says. She said something like, it would be like, basically it would be really rude to talk about your own stuff because she's taken on this whole fight, Brandy's fight. She's going to fight for all mothers I don't even know what the fight is, to not have Purple play video clips of the police saying, like, what is she fighting for? I mean, I don't really even understand it. And she said something like, it would be really selfish of someone to talk about themselves when it was Brandy's time. And it's like, oh my God, that's exactly what you did. You started talking about yourself during, that was like Brandy's day. And you were all talking about yourself. I mean, last thing I heard from her kids were contacted. She was done with YouTube. Did they do something really bad to her? What did they do to her? Yeah, there's nothing on her channel. Like the channel's still there, but everything says like no, like there's no content, there's no posts, nothing. It's just there. There's absolutely nothing there. Yeah. Oh, the about section's still there. My page is going to be about us having fun, and talk about any topic. Let's do this and support each other. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit, oh. Wow, she had a channel. It says joined March 27th, 2018. She had a channel for a long time. Shorty from Jersey 79 at gmail.com. I wonder if she still, has anyone emailed her? Wow. It's sad. So what did they do real life to her? Like what did they do? I just remember when Purple just wouldn't shut up about Shorty. She kept bringing up Shorty. It's like, why are you bringing up Shorty? People, she's, $10,000, blah, 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 blah. But, she never said where the victims were. She said the victims kept contacting her and she was in contact with all the victims, but she never would say who they were. I wonder if she really was in contact with victims. You messaged her with no response. Well, I mean, I guess she did take a lot of money from a lot of people, and I guess she could get in trouble for that. So I guess she bailed. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. But I'll definitely watch your live Peaches and everything. But like I said, like I've done nothing to Tony ever. Like ever, 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 ever. What about the victims? That's the thing. Like nobody, like people on YouTube can't do anything. Like what is anybody going to do here anyway? Like there's nothing anybody can do. The people who were victimized need to, and what can they do? Like seriously, what can they do? Like you're going to go to the cops and say, I gave someone money and oh yeah, I remember when Purple read the news article. That was pretty bad. But I mean, even if you were victimized, what can you say? I gave somebody money willingly. Like, are you stretching? I was like, saw you out of the corner of my eye. Willingly, even though she kind of had a little sob story to get it. I mean, unfortunately, they did give it willingly. I mean, I don't even think maybe there's anything that can be done there, I mean, granted, she kind of was scammy in how she got it, but at the same token, it's not like she had a gun to anyone's head. So I don't even know if anything can be done there, sadly enough. But definitely Purple talking about it all those times definitely didn't do anything. But I remember when she read that article, and that was pretty slimy. That was very slimy. And then afterwards she said, I didn't know what it was gonna. Come on. Like I hate that. And it's the same thing with the Brandy, Bullhorn Betty thing. I didn't know what it was going to be on it. You didn't know? I mean, I was listening to that whole thing. That's the whole thing they were talking about. That Bullhorn Betty called police and the police told her that the guy was arrested for not, saying someone died to police, So she knew, right? I mean, that's what happened, right? She knew that phone call, that recording, Bullhorn Betty called, they said he's arrested for not saying someone was dead. So what did she think was going to happen? She was playing the phone call of Bullhorn Betty with the police. What did she think was going to be on there? Her saying, oh, I didn't know. It's the same thing with that article. I didn't know what it was going to be on it. Then why were you reading it? If you didn't know what was going to be on it, why were you reading it? You didn't know. So it could have been about some guy went and bought clowns and shoved them up their butt and then put them away in a house with cockroaches. You didn't have any idea what it was going to be about. So why were you reading it? It could be about making soup. Why were you reading it? Clearly, you know what it was about because you're reading it on your channel for a reason, because you want that on your channel because the content, she knew what was in that article. She knew what was on the Bullhorn Betty call. And she played it. She's the one who played it for her friend. Exactly. I think Tony thinks you and Molly are one person. No, she knows we're different, but she probably thinks we're pretty much the same type of person. Yeah, that was messed up about the stabbing. Hold on. Oh, what happened to you of the late? Wait, did I miss something? Wait, what happened? Um, I know. Oh, what happened? What happened to you of the late? Are you okay? Sorry that happened to you, my friend of the late. Oh, what happened? Um, hey, Monica, how are you? Yeah, she claims ignorance every time. I didn't know what was in the article. I didn't know what was in the call, but she knew. Oh, you were one of, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. But is there anything you can do? Like legally, there probably isn't, unless you have some sort of contract, which who would? That's the thing. When people scam you, they get you to do it willingly, or like it looks that way. I mean, granted, they've told you something, so you think you're doing it for one reason and, you're not. That's the whole definition of a scam. But technically, legally, you willingly gave someone money. So what can you do? And that's the sucky part about it, because you thought you were giving it for one reason, or you thought you would be paid back, but there's no contract. So what can you say? And they can't find this person. So even the victims probably can't do anything. So Purple certainly isn't. But yeah, I mean, that sucks. Oh, I see what you were saying now. Okay. So I took what you were saying, what about the victims, as like you were like, yeah, yeah. She's like, what about I see what you were saying now. I got it. I got it. I got it. I see what you're saying. Okay. I got it. Um, I got it. Yes. No, like that, it sucks. Like, I don't think there can be anything done for the victims. That's the shitty part. Unless, like, you probably can't even find out where she is, right? So how can you even do anything? I mean, unless you had an investigator go and try and find her. But until you find Shorty, and like I said, even if you did find Shorty, I don't know if there's anything you can do. But the thing that people need to realize is, like, people, and I think this is why the tavern got in trouble, because when you meet someone and you think someone is one way, it's hard to then realize they're so horrible. So, like, I met Shorty and I thought she was this good, funny person. And so when I say that sucked, like, what sucks is my memory of someone who was a good person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I feel bad for her. Like, it does suck when anybody goes real life. Like, they're two separate things. Because I see what you're saying now of the light. You thought I was being a little bit callous to you, I think. I think you thought I was being a little callous and a little like, oh, you're sad for Shorty. Well, she was an asshole. What about the victims? I see what you're saying now. And I apologize if you think that I was being like callous or not feeling towards the victims. That's not what I was meaning. So she deserves whatever she gets for being a scammer, right? That's She deserves that. But when I say that sucks about the real life stuff, I'm not I'm just saying that in a general, like, that sucks for anybody. Like, she deserves to get what she gets for scamming people, but going real life to hurt the kids, I don't think you deserve that. You know what I mean? Like, reading that article, I think that wasn't, it's like two different things. You got to punish someone for the crime. Like, certain punishments don't fit am I making any sense? I don't know if I am. But I mean, I fully believe that Shorty should get what she should get. She fucked up. Like, it is sad that I thought there was a person who was a good person, and that sucks that that didn't exist, that was a lie. Like, I'm not sad for her. You know what I mean? I'm just sad for the concept of, I thought there was this funny, cool person, and it reminded me of the East Coast, and I really liked that. And I didn't know her really well. I only talked to her a few times, but I'm sad that that thing really didn't exist, because that was a cool thing to have. Now, as for her as like the actual human being in there, she was a shitty human being and she deserves whatever she gets. But that should be done to her the proper way. like reading that article, you know, about the husband and doing things to her kids. I don't agree with that, because I don't agree with going real life in that realm in any way. But how it should be handled is the victim should go after her. But like I said, I don't know if they can. I don't know if they even can. Because one, I don't know if they even know where she is. And two, what can you say? You know, like that's why a scam's a scam. Like at the end of the day, it's like, well, I gave this person money willfully, didn't have a contract, you know, so it's like she's just a shitty human being. But what I think is, and I'm going to read chat in a minute because I haven't read chat in a minute. What I think is the world always comes back to get you. Like good things always happen to good people in the end, and bad things always happen to bad people in the end. So like I live my life believing that like I don't need to get revenge on people because the universe will. Like she'll get what she deserves in her own way somehow. We might not know about it, but it will happen because dirty people always get dirty endings. You know what I mean? I'm gonna look at chat for a minute. But I'm sorry you got scammed. That's not okay. And anyway, and I'm sorry if you mistook what I was saying as like being callous towards, you know, I didn't mean that at all. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna read chat for a second. But that was like, so it was something like the husband or the boyfriend stabbed her or something. But just reading that article, like, I don't agree with going real life, throwing out whole family. You know, the family doesn't deserve to be brought into it. And I didn't really pay attention to the specifics of it. I just know it was some article about like the boy, like it brought into other people that don't need to be brought into. Oh my God, this is such a good smoothie. Oh, I'm sure if you, she's probably changed her number. Oh yeah. I mean, Heidi totally did it. Bye, Eliza. Might be. You know what? YouTube is not good at like there's something out there where somebody actually put my name in a chat and it's still there. And like YouTube just they're just horrible about actually. Yeah, she, you know, she did that to hurt everybody. And I don't think you should go. Like families should be out of it. Oh, maybe she does think we're the same person. I don't know. She's sometimes a little high and doesn't know what she's doing. Oh my God. She got stabbed more than 10 times. You know, the thing is, hey, stars. The thing is, like, I decided to be on YouTube. My family didn't. So, you know, we should all say that families, especially kids, are off the table. But if we say that, the problem is that has to happen for everybody. And that's the problem. It doesn't. Because, you know, if like I need to have empathy for if it happens to Purple, and Purple needs to have empathy for it happens to me. And I have empathy for her if her kids really got doxxed, and I mean got doxxed. We're not talking her daughter's blurred forehead in a picture that it's so blurred that she thinks it's her son was there. That's not doxing anybody. I'm sorry. But if she really got, our kids really got doxxed, I would feel bad for her and I would publicly say that. But the problem is, like, on that side, they're publicly like, they don't believe it happened. Okay. Like, there's no empathy for me. And that's the problem. You have to have empathy for everybody. Until you have empathy around the block for every single person, and until you say it's not okay to happen to anybody, you know, even if I like you or don't like you, it's not okay for anybody, then it's going to still happen because, you know, they fully believe it's okay to do it to the people they don't like. you know, their minds are that it's okay for them, but not for me, because they don't care that it happened to me. I mean, that was the whole thing. Like, if you listen to that time when I yelled, I know, Tara, like, we have to have empathy for everybody. And they put her, what was the, I wasn't there for that thing, but something that someone came into her live with a picture of her said somebody's coming with a message, and then suddenly there's someone with, yeah, rules for thee, not for me, came in with a picture and then followed her to buddies or something. I wasn't there that night, so I don't really know the specifics, but it was just shitty. Like, I don't know why that keeps happening. Like, for whatever reason, everything stopped with me. Like, I got, all these emails. They tried, they did this whole thing. Oh my God. Someone came in, they sent me all these emails, but then that was it. It all stopped. It was like 2 days of emails to everybody, and then it stopped. But like, Tony keeps getting stuff of her son. Tara keeps getting stuff of her daughter. Like, who's doing it? Because it keeps happening. Like, mine stopped at least. I mean, and God, I need to comb my hair or something. And I don't, who knows how long that video was out. I mean, I don't know how long it was out before YouTube took it down. But, nothing's happened, so I assume everything's fine. But I mean, it's disconcerting to know, that was out there. But, whatever. I'm just, I have everything set up so everybody's safe. So I'm not worried about it. But I would be concerned if it kept continued to happen, like it's continuing to happen for Tara. It's still happening. It's still happening for Tony. And I think it's Hopi and Heidi doing it. I'm just going to say that. I think those two are, I'm just going to say it. I think those two are working together with Laura, who is lovely. I think the three of them are working together. Yeah. I mean, it's all Heidi. It's all Heidi. I mean, she's just not a good human being. And Susan, it keeps happening to Susan too. Yeah, the three of them, it doesn't stop. I would be really, and Pippi, has it continued for you, or I don't know who you are, but has it continued for you, or did it stop after that? Now that you've changed your name and everything. Let me know if it stopped or if it's like still going. But even if they aren't, yeah. Heidi she is vengeful. That's the scary part about people. When people, it's so for you and me, it stopped, but for Tara, Susan, and Tony, it continued. Like, I would be concerned if it continued. I would be. But I think someone also realized that if they continued, it was going to get really bad for them. I mean, obviously, I mean, obviously you guys know what happened, but I definitely think it's Heidi. She is a mean person. You can just tell in her voice, you can tell how she talks and how she talks about people. And the fact that she, on one hand, will just give this apology, but in the next hand, do it again or say something again that just shows she didn't mean any of that. I mean, I don't think she ever, any apology she gets, you can tell she's just saying it because she's supposed to say it. She doesn't mean a word of it. Not a single freaking word of it. You can just tell. She doesn't mean a damn bit of it. And because she keeps doing stuff. And that's why, see, that's weird that Frank hates her, but Hopi's still friends with her. That's a weird thing. The fact that she has been trying to get disability for all these years, I'm just going to say, I don't really think she's disabled. I mean, I just don't. I don't. I mean, I think she has health problems. I give her that. Oh, they're on. You know what? The whole time I was friends with Hopi, they were on the ins and outs, but they were texting and emailing the entire time. I mean, they were. So even when they're on the outs, they're still talking. So whatever to that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's real or fake, but I mean, I believe she has medical conditions. I do believe that. I'm sure she has, what the fuck? I'm sure she has fibromyalgia. I'm sure she has her list of medical conditions. I don't believe that they would preclude her from working. I think if she had to work, would do just fine. I mean, she can sit on a live for 8 hours just fine. She can flap her mouth just fine. She could do, who was it? Someone went into, I was watching, and I don't remember the date because it was when I was just watching like all the videos to get clips. Someone said something to Tony of, your mouth works just fine. You could do a telemarketing job. It's true. I mean, Heidi can sit on a computer for 8 hours. She talks just fine. Heidi could do some sort of customer service, phone type of job. I think Heidi could work just fine if she had to. And the reason that the reason that she's going for disability isn't for fibromyalgia. I hate to say it. That's my husband blowing his nose. It's because she can't concentrate for long enough. That's her reason for disability. Because I've seen her, you know, she said her lawyer was looking at my live because I was divulging her disability, like, you don't get disability papers, like what rejection papers. I was going to show her disability rejection papers, showing her stuff. My God, she's so ridiculous. But but I've seen the stuff because it's all public, information. You can go pull it up. But she's not trying to get disability for fibromyalgia. The reason is she can't concentrate long enough. Like, she can't sit and concentrate on a task long enough to finish it. So she's not hireable because she can't concentrate long enough. She seems to concentrate just fine when she's yelling about something. She can yell for hours at a time about the same subject. She can talk about the same shit for hours on a live. I mean, my God. Bye. Love you. What time will you be back? Okay. All right. All right. I love you. Bye. Okay. So that's the reason she's going for it, that she can't concentrate long enough. And I don't believe that. I think she wants to not do anything. I think she wants to be taken care of. And I think she's taken on this, this is who she is. And, it's like once you start a lie and you've done it and done it and done it, you can't just go back. You can't go back and be like, oh, it's fine. I'm fine. The more you lie, you back yourself into a corner and you have to tell more lies to make sure your lie is okay. So I think that's where she is. She's started this disability thing and she did it. And now she's just got to fully play it, even though, why do you need to be in bed all day because you can't concentrate? And let me just say again, it wasn't about someone being in bed, never attacked her damn disability. But, she's always saying she can't work, she can't do anything, she can't leave the house. She can go to the Dominican Republic. But I don't think there's anything wrong with her. I think she could work if she had to. I think she's a vengeful, hateful person. Pippi, whoever you are, you must have pissed her off and she went after you. She's never liked me, and that's the funny thing. She loved the whole mattress mama thing in the beginning because there's a video of her saying how much she loved it. She loved it. She loved it. And then all of a sudden she did it. I don't know why. I don't know what changed, but something happened. And then Purple just decided to go along with it. So she just doesn't like me. So she's just a hateful person. So of course she did it. And, let's just say everything Harper said was true. Let's just say everything Harper said was true. I'm going to look at chat here. And it's not okay to do it to anybody. And if we take that approach, instead of taking the approach of not for me, but for thee, or whatever that thing is, we'd be fine. But that's not how it goes. Oh, that's so good. Oh my God. No, it's not anybody's business at all who does anything. That's the thing. It's not anybody's business what anybody does about anything. I think she wants to be, she's on ADHD meds. She said that the other day. She said, my ADD meds haven't kicked in yet. Oh, of course, no lawyer is watching my live. No. She says her lawyer is doing a lot of things. She is. She's just lazy. She's just lazy. Well, Coffee and Puggies, what's up? How are you? Well, if one doesn't like you, of course, yeah, if one doesn't like me, none of them can. Which is why, as soon as Hopi transformed to that group, suddenly she had to hate me too. And then suddenly, even though the reason we were friends was because she watched my videos and loved my videos, then suddenly all my videos were bully videos. It's like, okay. Like we were friends for 4 months. And you just suddenly changed your tune. And then she started saying things like, "Oh, I didn't really watch them before." We were friends because you binge watched my videos and you liked them. That's why we were friends. That's why you were going to make me your bitch, man. I mean, come on. She says, "Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know." Oh my God, bunch of silly women. But yeah, I mean, she's been trying since 2012. So 10 years. 10 years she's been going for disability. And like I said, I'm not saying that she doesn't have health problems. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that she doesn't have serious health problems. What I'm saying is the government has decided, hey, Proud Marine Mom, has decided that she is not disabled under the definition of the government, which is, can you work or not? Because you can. All you need to work is a brain and a mouth, and really that's it. Because you could just have a phone on auto and you could just sit there calling people. There are telemarketing jobs where you just sit there and have to talk on a phone. She can talk on YouTube. She can talk on a phone. She could do a customer service job. She could do a telemarketing job. There are plenty of jobs that she could do just having a mouth. But like I said, her reason for disability has nothing to do with her body or her back or anything like that. It all has to do with ability to concentrate. I have an aunt and I have a friend who both are on disability. And if you're under 50, so here's what I've learned. If you're under 50, because one of them started on, it's very hard to get under 50. But if you're over 50, if you really have a disability, you will get it. And it's the government, and it's the government giving away their money. So of course they don't want to give money. So most people do get refused the first time unless you really have proof that you can't do anything. And I think my aunt said that because they basically are just checking boxes. They're not looking at the whole picture. They kind of check boxes. And what it boils down to is, can you sit for 4 hours and do something? Like that's kind of the basis. Because at the end of it, like what do they call it? Like an employee kind of I don't know what they call it, but someone basically in the end comes in to figure out, can you work? Like that's what it's all about. Can you work? And it's, can you sit for 4 hours and do some sort of job? And it's not the job you used to do. It's like a menial job. Can you do a telemarketing job? Can you talk on the phone? So can you do something for 4 hours? Like sit and do something for 4 hours. So she's saying she can't concentrate for 4 hours. Like she can't sit there and concentrate for 4 hours. We know that's a lie. And she's really stupid saying, like, these people who talk about disability on YouTube, all it would take is, and I'm not telling anyone to do this. I'm not going to do this. This is not anybody's place to do this. So don't go real life. But all it would take is one person contacting someone on her case and showing them YouTube. Here you are for 4 hours on a live. I mean, these people should not talk about these things on YouTube. They're just, really stupid. Yeah, that's why she does. She said she sleeps in her own room because she keeps all hours. because she has no responsibility. So she'll stay up late at night and he has to work a lot. And, you know, I'm not going to say it. He works a lot, so she keeps him up, right? You had a lawyer and you got it the first time. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing. Well, maybe or not. Ugh. So with disability, so when you apply, if you get it, they go back to when you applied. So if you applied and you like get denied and you appeal or whatever, and 3 years later you finally get it, you get paid all the way back those 3 years. So you suddenly get like this whole bunch of money, because for those 3 years, if you really are disabled, for those 3 years you haven't been working, you've been racking up debt, you've been borrowing money, you've been hurting. So you finally get that money to get you normal again, right? So they would have to pay her back, for 10 years. And I don't know how much she would get a month, but that's a lot of money to pay back. So they have, love you. I'm good. I'm still on here. So wherever you want to start, maybe downstairs is either. How are you? Are you good? Are you ready for Thanksgiving? Yeah, no, not at all. One year I had all my Christmas shopping done before December 5th, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I want to try to do that, but I don't know.
And you stay here?
Yeah, we're gonna stay here. Are you staying here? Or are you going?
Family.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, thank you for coming. So yeah, so the fact that she's tried so hard for so long, I think proves something. But if she did get it, they would have to pay her back for the 10 years. And that's a big incentive for the government to not approve her. But like I said, so you do it. And then if you get denied, you appeal it. And then I think if you get denied again, you go to like a judge. And then I think what she did is she got denied that. So now she's going to instead of like the county, the state level judge or something. So she's on and I think you do it and then you can, so I think she's on her fourth or sixth try. I don't know. She said she was going to make me her best friend quite a lot. Notice when someone says, take a shower, read a book, do some gardening. Read this book. So, you know what? I don't know. I got to go pee real quick. I'll be right back. I'm going to go pee real quick. Oi. All right, take space. I'm guessing her cause. Oh yeah, she said she didn't shower or something. I think the bottom line though is if you really are disabled, you will get it. It might not be the first time, but if you have a lawyer, you don't get it at least on the third try, you might have health problems, but because that's the thing, the government is not making a determination if you are disabled health-wise. They're making a determination if you can work, if your health problems mean you can work or not, which is kind of a different thing, right? You might be disabled health-wise, you have problems, you can't do the things you used to do, but you might still be able to work. and work might be, telemarketing, just talking, on a computer, not, might not be a waitress anymore, might not be, whatever, but, can you do some tiny task, right? So it's kind of a big difference. She said she was going to make me her best friend a lot. I don't know. Well, you were 34? Wow. Yeah, they do say, like, if you're under 50, it's hard. But if you really have a problem, I mean, and you deserve it, you will get it. But yeah, her reason is not fibromyalgia or anything like that. Her reason is not being able to concentrate. She can't concentrate for long enough. And the reason she's appealing is something like she's saying they didn't take, because the first time she got denied, she's saying they didn't take into effect like her ADHD, so she can't concentrate long enough to work those 4 hours. It's a vocational expert. That's what it's called, a vocational expert. She emailed you back. Did she say sorry? Did she? Yeah, I know. Like, you hear me. Do you think I can concentrate for 4 hours? And that's why I basically had to retire after my coma. I mean, I was a corporate person. I was an entrepreneur. I started companies. I went into, big business. I started as a coder, and then I had my own company. So I would both run the company and I would code as well. I was in my 20s, I had a company of like me, basically. And sometimes I would hire outside help, but for the most part, it was a company of me. And I would, go in to get contracts, and I would go in there. And that's why I'm a straight shooter, because a lot of the time I would go in there and it was all men. And a lot of times all, Japanese men, because they were a lot of the people who were in the internet industry at that time, running a lot of the companies and starting a lot of the ventures. So I would go in there to get contracts, and they are the straightest shooters. Any Asian man, they are the straightest shooters you have ever seen. And I like that, because if they don't like something, they'll say, I don't like it, do it again. And I love that. I don't want someone, sugarcoating stuff. But I mean, so I was, when I needed to, I could concentrate out the yin yang. But like, since I was in a coma, like, I can't retain stuff. Like I said, my kids will say, like, can I get some juice as I'm walking up the stairs? And if I get to the top of the stairs and like the cat bumps into me and I'm like, hey kitty, and I pet her, out, like, I used to like quadruple task. Now, like, if I have to start a task and finish it, because if I get distracted, like, it just won't go. And that, like, something happened when I had my coma. I got some sort of weird brain damage or something. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. You gave her money because you thought a certain thing was happening. And when you find out that certain thing isn't real or true, that really hurts, because you donated it, you gave it, but when you find out you gave it because of da, 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 and then you're like, that was a lie, that's so hurtful. And maybe you would have given it to her anyway. That's the thing. Maybe you would have given it to her anyway. But when someone plays you, I think that hurts the most, when someone plays your heart. I think that hurts the most. So when she emailed you back, did she say, I mean, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. You can just say, I don't want to talk about it. But I'm just wondering, was she in any way regretful or sorrowful about it? Um, can't believe she doesn't shower that long. That's so gross. So you apply, she appealed. This is for Tooth Fairy. So she applied, she appealed, and then you go to a judge, and then she wouldn't have gone straight to the Supreme, because is that the Supreme Court of, like, the Supreme Court of the USA Supreme Court, or is that like the Supreme Court of the state? Because each state does have its own, high court system. So, well, Tooth Fairy, you obviously had a legitimate reason. You had good records. Oh, of just Wisconsin. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm wondering, would that be her fourth time, or would she have to do anything before that? Would it just be like, try it, get denied, appeal, get denied, then you go to a judge, get denied, and then so this is her fourth time going to the Supreme Court of Wisconsin? I mean, I guess I could look it up because I have all this stuff. But I mean, I don't know, like, I can't imagine like anything, it's just at a certain point you got to let it go, you know. But at a certain point you've gone so far, why not go a little further, I guess. I mean, if she's gonna, oh, I just got like something in my eye. If she's gonna pay a lawyer to look at my lives, right? I mean, she's such, like, does anybody really think she had a lawyer? Like, it's funny. I guess Justin actually, he texted me and he's like, Heidi's lawyers looking at your lives, and I'm like, I know, I heard. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I don't think she replied to anybody else but you, from what I heard, Pippi. No, I can't imagine they would. I mean, and that's why I say they have a big reason to deny her, and that's that they don't want to pay 10 years, which is probably why she's, still like, well, I got one more try. I might as well try, because if she gets it, oh, what is in my eye? If she gets 10 years or whatever, but I mean, I can't imagine the third try. I think from what my aunt said, the first time it's like 60% or like a really high percent get denied. Like a lot of people really get denied that first time. Most people get denied, like majority. And then the second time, um, a, a lot of people still get denied, but if you really need it, like that third time, if you have a lawyer and you go that third time and you really, really are legitimately disabled, they would figure it out there. Like, that's what she said. That, like, because the first two times you're just basically having someone look over your paperwork and they're just kind of like, dotting things like, do you have this? Can you do this? And it's more just, can you sit for this long? Can you and whatever. And so the first two are kind of like that. But when you go to the third thing to a judge, you actually have real people talking to you. So, like, if you really legitimately have a problem, they'll kind of figure that out then, because you have real people talking to you. So if she didn't do it on that, I don't know. I can't believe anybody even takes her case, but I guess why not? Well, I don't know. Ask Heidi. What does anything have to do with anything in Heidi's world? Nothing has to do with nothing in Heidi's world, but everything. Like I said, I just watched the stupid fight when I went on Purples and yelled. And like, why does Heidi go up there? That's so Heidi. Well, I got to get in there. Me too. Like, I wish the Me Too thing wasn't Me Too, because I would make it about Heidi. Me too. I fell in dog shit. Me too. She's just total Me Too. I ate a cockroach. Me too. She's just like everything, and bigger and bigger and better. Me too. She was so, oh. Only 6 people emailed her so far. Her kids had her change her number and get off YouTube. Did she, like, say anything about paying money back? I mean, so she realized she took money that she shouldn't. Did she have any, I don't know, any consolate? I mean, I'm sure she can't pay it back. But what did she do with all that money? Because I mean, there was one time when I think Purple was like, she got like $10,000. What did she do with all that money? And it's like, well, living expenses, a few months of living expenses, and might be one month in some parts of California. I mean, my goodness, like, that's not really, it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. You have a mortgage. I mean, I don't know. I think, Heidi talks about, oh, I come from this prominent family and my dad gave me money and I think she's just been half-ass. Oh, you didn't ask. Okay. Well, that's probably like an even better scammer. They don't have to ask. What do they call that? Dry begging? When you don't really ask, but you're just like, Oh, I wanted to do this, but I don't have enough money. Waiting for someone to say, "Oh, can I help you?" That's driving, right? They don't really ask, but they ask. And if you're good at it, I don't know. You can do anything, I guess. Well, you know, she knew what she was doing, and the universe will have its way with her at some point. And you obviously are a good person because you willingly gave money because you thought you were helping her. You were trying to do a good thing. You were trying to help someone in need. And that's a beautiful, kind thing to do, you know? I come from mafia and the FBI. According to Hopi, my dad's in the mafia. I mean, I came from two immigrant Italians who came over on the boat, neither knowing how to speak English, learned how to speak English. Oh, no, a lot, just about everybody e-bags on YouTube. I mean, my God, I mean, I don't like there, but I think I'm in the few who don't do stuff like that. And that's the thing with Tony. Like, I don't ever talk about money in any way. I don't. And she talks about money. What about the money? And again, when I was listening to the fight, like I didn't, when I was there, that when I went on purples and I intended to just be like, what do you want to say to me? Let's just talk like adults and have it out. And then I just started yelling and I don't know what happened. But I really wasn't listening to anybody, but maybe half Hopi. I mean, and maybe that, I don't know. I just like saw red and yelled. But when I listened to it back, there's Tony and they're like, oh, gee, what about the money? Like that was October 9th. Like that was forever. Like, what is she talking about? What does she think with this money? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand what she thinks there's some money conspiracy. Like, I don't know. Like, I just got monetized. Like, I wasn't even getting money. I was classy with my yelling. I was a classy ranter. I don't know. It's actually real. I've listened to it a few times because it's actually really, really funny. Like it's because like there are certain things that come in. Like there's the time when I say something about people will realize that Hopis has to do with everything. And then you hear like the crowd go, ooh. and then there's like when Heidi pipes up, shut the fuck up, Frank. And Frank's like, what? I didn't say anything. Like there's all these like levels of it in there. Like you should listen to it again. Jules has it like made it like clipped it. Ugh, I can't talk today. But it's really funny just because you'll hear me, like you'll just hear little innuendos of different things going on. Like, and then I'm like, who asked me to get you oxy? Duh, bitch. And then you hear like Tony, no, I think Peaches might say like, what's oxy? It was like a circus. And it was like highs and lows of different people coming in. And then Heidi comes in and everyone's like, Heidi, don't go up there. Oh no. And then Heidi comes up there and she starts yelling. She's like, shut up, OG. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's like it would be a really good comedy skit because it's really funny. And Jules has it where you can see the chat because it's her phone. So it's really funny, like reading the chat, like seeing what people were saying about it. It's really funny. There are like some team OGs in there. Because I was at Purple's, mind you, with like there were 9 of us. It was like freaking Brady Bunch on there, at the end. It was like 9 things. So it was like I went over there and it was me and in a channel that hates me with 8 people on panel who hate me, chatters who hate me. And I just went in there guns a-blazing and I was like, what do you want to say to me? It was kind of funny. I mean, it is really funny, but I didn't listen to it for the longest time because I was like, oh my God, like I don't yell. That's not who I am. That's not how I want to present myself. Like I didn't want to do that. Like I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't listen to it for a long time because I didn't want to hear it. Well, you know, as for Shorty coming back, it's America. Everyone has the right to do whatever. If she wanted to come back, of course she could come back. Now, how would she be received? On one hand, she could come back and say, I'm going to work really hard to make money, and all the money I make, I will try to pay people back. You know, that's one thing. And that's I think that would be a really respectable thing to do. Or she could come back and try and, like, I don't, people love a comeback story. I think people are always willing to forgive you and let you come back. I think there's a lot to do with that. So I think if she came back and she did something and proved herself, I think people would welcome her back. But it would be a scary go at it at first, because a lot of people would, who wants to be the first one to be her friend? Like, who wants to go on panel with her, right? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I never, like I said, I didn't really know Shorty. I mean, I talked to her a few times, because she liked my stuff. I thought she was funny. She reminded me of the East Coast. Every time I saw her, I enjoyed her presence. And it was sad to me when it was like, oh, that's a bummer. Like, it's horrible. Yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah, it's hard to say how, like, I don't know if she came back, what I would want to do. If I would be like, if I would like her, I don't know. I don't know. And it's hard when she's done something to people you like. That is hard. Yeah, Hopi's the dry beggar. Hopi is a great dry beggar. Yeah. Like, and that, like, and when I gave her money, that's why, she's like, oh, I don't have the VPN. And I was like, I'll buy it, whatever, it's fine. But I knew, and I didn't care. I was like, she wakes up every day in her little place by herself. Her kids don't live with her for reasons that's sad that you don't have your kids with you. She doesn't have a man in her life. She wakes up alone with 2 dogs. She does have, health problems. So she can't just jump up and be like, I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing, go have fun today, whatever. She can't do that. She has trouble, with her health. She wakes, what's she going to do? She doesn't have a job. She doesn't have a career. She doesn't have anything to be proud of. So, my front door just blew open. Hold on. Wow, it's windy here. Sometimes my front door blows open. So she doesn't, she doesn't have a lot of happy things to go, so, like, if I can help her do something fun, like, okay, like, like, I've always been the kind of person, if I have something that can help someone else be happy, like, I'll do that. If I have more of something than someone else and I can help them, like, good, like, do that, like, help someone, I want everyone, like, I have a really happy life. Like, I had struggles growing up, I had a difficult time many times, but, like, in my 40s, I really, for the first time, accepted myself and learned to love myself and be proud of myself. And instead of, like, going out there acting like it, I really meant it. And so now I'm like, I love life. I'm so blessed with so many things. And I really mean that. Like, for the good and the bad, like, I never regret anything. Like, everything that has happened to me, good or bad, made me. And I really like me. Like, at the end of the day, I think I turned out okay. Like, for a while there, maybe it was touch and go, but I think I like how I turned out. So, like, even the shitty things, it's like, well, if I hadn't have done that, then I wouldn't have learned this. And if I didn't learn this, I wouldn't, and I wouldn't be here. Like, so all those things. So I don't regret anything that has happened in my life, even the really horrible things. Because I would have, if I didn't happen, would have went down a different path. So, like, I just feel like so content where I am that if I can help, if I can help her be happy some way, like I will do it, even if I know she's kind of like taking from, you know what I mean? Like it's okay, because you know what I mean? If that makes any sense. She said in the email she wasn't coming back. I wouldn't think, I mean, at this point, it's been long enough that if she didn't, like if she, like I remember she had that, she made a video where I remember Purple was all like, she said her girls or something, where she was like, she said she was sorry for her girls, but she made that video and then she did a community post. If she was going to come back, that would have been the time, like after that community post, like strike while the iron's hot, like come back, be sorrowful, say you're going to pay people, like that would have been like, now it's like too far gone. Yeah, it's hard when, yeah, you know what? She probably is back in a new community. I mean, a lot of people have said she like this wouldn't have been her first time. Like she was so good at it. And I don't really know all the stuff that happened. Like I don't. Sorry if it's really loud. She's vacuuming. Is it really, really too loud? Hold on. So is the vacuum like really, really bad, too loud that I should mute for like a minute while like the vacuuming is going? Is it, tell me if it's like really like horrible. Oh, thank you. See, I don't, it's not even that much. Like, and that was like really like, that was like a lot. Like that was, I did like all my makeup. But you look really funny when you just have like foundation on. But so is the sound okay? Because there's vacuuming like right below me. You don't hear it? Okay, good. I was gonna mute this. So this is a good, this microphone's a really good microphone. It's supposed to like get rid of, she has Frank. Yeah. Well, I heard Frank say that that's not his girlfriend. I heard like last week or something. He said something like, that's not my girlfriend. And I was like, huh, like you loved her. Unless they had a talk and said, it's better to be friends. Let's just be friends. Let's just be friends. Yeah, Frank, I think it's sad about Frank because I really liked Frank. And I remember when Frank stood up for me, like Frank used to come in all my lives. And I remember like I would just get on panel with like Hopi and it would just be like her and me and Frank, and we would just talk the shit. And he would like, I would just talk about stuff like this, and he would just be, I would talk about, like mental health in life. He made I don't think he's ever had a girlfriend. I'm sure he hasn't. I mean, what girl's gonna do? I mean, that's sad, but no, I'm sure he has not. But and he would always be like, "Oh, that makes so much." Like he and I really like when we had a connection. I liked him a lot. I kind of felt like he was kind of like a brother in a way. And when he stood up for me, I really appreciated that. Ooh. Needles are, I heard him say the other day maybe it was only maybe a few days ago, and someone said, "You sound really good," and he said, "I'm not taking cocaine anymore," like as if he stopped. Which I was like, "Oh, so when did you think he was shooting?" Because I think it was like 2 days ago. Well, he lives at home with his mom. He doesn't have a job, and when was that? Was it? Because I think when I saw him that he said, like, he kind of, like, wasn't on anything, like, he stopped doing and everything. That was, like, 2, 3 days ago. So was that, like, just, like, last night or something? Because yeah, if you start nodding off, you're, like, you know, like, opiates or heroin or something, I don't know. But if you're, like, shooting up, that's, like, I don't I'm not not in I don't know how people do that. I'm not a needle person. Oh, I don't know how people do that. I mean, like, I can, like, give IVs to other people, to animals, I have no problems, but not to me. Like, when they take my blood, I have to, like, look away, and I could never do it to myself. I could do it to other people just fine, and I've done it forever, to other people. It's just fine, but, like, I could never do it to myself. I could not like, feeling that pop of your skin, oh, I could never do that. Oh my god. Yeah, I have a video of him snorting coke, like, and you see him, like, he's like, and then you see, like, like that, and then he's like, you know, I have a video of it. So, and because he had his camera on, I don't think he knew that he had his camera on. And then after he did that, Purple's like, "You had your camera on," and he's like, "Oh, sorry." And she's like, "It's okay." And I'm like, "It's okay." Like, what? But I'm sure he's always been the way he's been. I think if he um took his, I think the times that he is cognizant and he is speaking clearly. Like the other night, he said that he wasn't doing anything anymore, and he spoke about a case, and I don't remember what it was, but he was speaking about some case, and he was speaking so eloquently and so wonderfully, and he made so much sense. And I thought if that was the Frank we could see all the time, he would be a wonderful, wonderful friend, potential mate, addition to the community, like just so awesome. But then there's the other stuff. And I think that's his problem, that he doesn't consistently take his medicine. And I think if he could be okay. I think if he stopped everything else and took what he's supposed to take on schedule, he would be okay. But I think that's his problem. Because, when he does the other stuff, I mean, like when he was supposed to go on circle jerks, like I don't know why, and I think people are getting better about it, but I don't know why anybody put up with his behavior in there. Like he was telling me I was some racist and going, and I was like, Frank, like, and I'm a moderator, so luckily I was like, you need to stop, please. And I would have time, but I let him go for a while because that's just who I'm not gonna, he was there to get on panel, and so I didn't want to time him out, but he just kept going off on me, and it's like, fuck, you know? Yeah, he drinks, which is a depressant. He does coke, which is and then he's on all these meds. I gotta watch. I didn't see that. But that's horrible. You probably could get in trouble for someone doing drugs on your channel, but that's like when he told Hopi he loved her, that's exactly he does. I mean, he does. But that's what it was really upsetting to me when as soon as Hopi and I weren't friends, he turned on me because we were good friends. And, and I know she turned him against me because she was so angry that he emailed me. Because when I said, he emailed me, she was like, no, he didn't. And I was like, yeah, he did. No, Frank doesn't email. He doesn't use email. And I was like, and she's like, he doesn't email anybody. And then I was like, well, he emailed me 3 times. And then I showed it to her. And then that was the beginning of the end of our friendship. I think that right there. was a jealous moment, and that was the beginning of the end. She started treating me very differently after that. I think she was jealous that he emailed me and he had never emailed her, which whatever. But I, it was hurtful to me that like suddenly out of nowhere, when I have never done, yes, she does. Yes, she does. They both do. They would like get on like lives together and like hang out for hours and hours. But I thought we were friends, and like I've never done anything to him. If anything, I've stood up for him. Like when people would talk badly about him, I'd say, I was always like, good to him, I thought. And so as soon as Hopi and I were friends, like I heard him just bashing me, it was like, what? Like it really hurt my feelings. Like it really hurt my feelings. Like, and to hear him on, like he was on, like I was listening to a clip to get clips with Tony, and he's, on with Purple, and he's like, I call her the porcelain something, and then he's like, I've given her a name, she's fuckface, that's her nick. And it's like, that's really hurtful, Frank. Like I've never said a bad word about you, even privately. Like I'll admit, like I am human, like privately, I might say something to a friend behind closed doors. Sometimes I'm a human, I'm a girl, but I've never even said anything bad about him behind closed doors. You know what I mean? Oh, well, I don't know if every time she goes to the bathroom, but I just know, and like you can tell she has that different voice. Like right after we stopped being friends, she would like go on panel, and she has like it's almost like UK Valley Girl version. Like she just has a different voice when she talks. She's just like, hello. I don't know. Like if you listen to, like, you can hear it. If you go back through Purple's lives, you can hear sometimes she just has like a different tone and different intonation. Like if you listen to her lives that she made about me, there are 2 like 5-hour lives that are all about bashing me. She just has like a different tone to her. And that's the like, I am high off my mind, Hopi, and she does disappear consistently monthly as she runs out of things early and hasn't got money yet to get other things. Like it's a consistent thing of disappearing. Like, oh, it's like I could count on it. It's like, okay, she's gone. It's always be like sometimes she'd be wasted, and sometimes then she'd be in withdrawal. And it's like, like that's like when everybody spreads this stuff about me. It's like, has anyone ever seen me disappear? Have I ever come on here looking anything like, I'm consistently here, normal, like me, like, the same, like, I don't know, like never, obviously I disappeared for a while or had a bender for a while, like, I don't know. I think you would be able to tell if I was. And I don't make money. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so like that would be an issue. But well, that entire group does treat them. That's part of why they're friends. I mean, yeah, you know, I mean, it's either prescription stuff that they're all doing or like other stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, wow. Well, I talked to somebody. Yeah, and Frank has everything. And Purple's trying to get into prescription pills now. Like there was one day where I heard her say, all I need is like 2 a day, 1 in the morning and 1 in the late afternoon. And I was like, not a way to look at it. If you're going to be on that kind of medication, you really need to respect it. Like, if you don't respect it, like you're going to be in trouble. Frank was really bad on Tony's today. Well, I think I need to watch Peaches from last night and Tony's for today. I am going to make another video about her, so I do need to get more content. But it's 11:35, and I got a bunch of stuff to do. So I'm going to get my day going. But I had so much fun talking to you guys, or talking to myself and looking at you guys type. But I hope you guys had fun too. And someone's calling me from Saleville, New York. But I wanted to say thank you to all the new members that we had today. Hippie and Tooth Fairy, and we had Cuddles and Puggies. I don't know if she's still here, but not typing. Who else was here? Oh, Alexander, who I feel so bad. I never said welcome to, like, I don't know how I missed that. I don't know how I missed it. Like, I feel so bad. I'm gonna have to do a video just for Alexander or something. And then Proud Marine Mom was new. Who else was new that's here? I don't know who. Peaches was here. There's Coffee and Puggies. So who else was new? If anyone else is new here, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you being here. If Gone Girl's here, thank you for always being so supportive, and thank you for gifting memberships to everybody. So more people could be here and enjoy, because I just want to have fun, and I think we had a good time. Ain't nothing but a good time. So I hope you guys have a good Friday, and we're going to have a Who's Pippi Longstocking? Who's Pippi Longstocking? That'll be the new, like, well, we could privately figure it out, but no, you don't want to say. You can be like Pooh. You can be like Pooh. You'll be the next Pooh. But anyway, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being members, and I hope you have a good afternoon and a good weekend. And is everyone in the Discord? If you're not in the Discord, email me. Yeah, well, but someone would. Don't trust anyone on YouTube. Don't trust anyone. Don't trust me, especially. No, just kidding. But if you're not in the Discord, email me, queen@thequeenog.com, because I will give you a link and get you in the Discord, because that's the main way we communicate. Like, I don't want your phone numbers. I don't want your email. No. Well, I guess I have an email, but so that's how we communicate. So if you're not in, that's funny. So if you're not in the Discord, email me so I can get you in there. And have a good weekend. And I'm usually not really online on the weekend. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye.